All right, so the Milwaukee Bucks get the Game 3 victory at home against the Suns. Now, they're still down in the series 2-1, but they will have an opportunity to tie this series. Game 4 will be happening in Milwaukee Wednesday night, so the Bucks will have a chance at home to tie this series. And hopefully this will be a 2-2 series heading back to Phoenix, because if the Bucks end up being down 3-1 in this series, it's a wrap. I don't see them going to Phoenix and winning a Game 5 and all of a sudden winning 3 straight games. So the Bucks need to do whatever they can to tie this series up and make sure they're heading to Phoenix with the series being 2-2. And if we do get that series being 2-2, now we're talking about 7-game territory, which is what I predicted. I predicted the Suns to win this in 7, so I'm hoping the Bucks can win Game 4 and make this series interesting, because if they're down 3-1, the series is over. We all know that. But yeah, tonight, they just were not going to let the Suns come in and take over. And in that second half, they absolutely destroyed Phoenix. Phoenix just could not compete. They couldn't match them. There was nothing Phoenix could do to get back in the game at that point, because they were just dominating. Giannis himself tonight was an absolute menace. Just a complete menace. 41 points and 13 rebounds from Giannis. He becomes the third player all time in NBA history to score back-to-back 40-point games in the NBA Finals. Shaq did it in 2000. LeBron James did it with the Cavs in 2016 with that 3-1 comeback against the Warriors. And now Giannis has done it here tonight. Just an absolute legendary performance by this man, carrying his team and doing whatever it takes to keep them alive and continue to move forward. This is exactly what we expected to see from Giannis. We're not surprised. He played like this in Game 2. I expected him to play like this in Game 3. However, what was the difference between Game 2 and Game 3? Because Giannis gave you exactly what you were looking for. So something had to be different. Well, there were a couple things that were different. One, Jrue Holiday showed up. I believe he had, 22 points tonight. He did his thing. He showed up. He hit a couple of really great threes. When the league was starting to get short into the single digits, Jrue Holiday would not let the Suns come back. He hit back-to-back threes. He was hitting threes tonight. I think he had 6 threes. He was on it tonight. I don't like Jrue Holiday shooting threes, but he was in his bag tonight. He was hitting those shots. He was making great plays. He was playing fantastic defense on Devin Booker and CP3. Fantastic defense. So Jrue Holiday was doing his thing tonight. Another difference maker, Bobby Portis tonight. I believe he had 12 points. This guy came off the bench and made such an impact. Obviously, he's been doing that for them throughout the entire season as well as the postseason. And once again tonight, being the energizer, being the guy to come off the bench to bring the energy, he did his thing again tonight. Which brings up the question, Budenholzer, why was Bobby Portis not in the game during Game 2? They could have used his energy. They needed somebody like him. But for some reason, Budenholzer just did not put him in the game during Game 2. I don't know if the guy was injured. I don't know if there was a reason he couldn't play or something. I just don't know what it was. But all we know is Bobby Portis played 5 minutes in Game 2 and just did not return for the rest of the game for no reason, which I felt hurt them. But you know what? Tonight, he was there and he made an impact. And hopefully Budenholzer will be smart enough to keep this man in the rotation and give him quality minutes and put him in the game, because they need his energy. He showed up tonight and did his thing. And overall, as a team, they showed up and did their thing. Now, Chris Middleton tonight was not great. We expected him to have one of those great performances because he's so inconsistent. But honestly, he didn't have a great performance tonight. I'm going to be very honest. He did not have a great performance tonight. He was okay. He had more of a solid performance, but it wasn't a great performance. He played really good defense, though, but he didn't have a great performance scoring-wise. He definitely did well defensively. In fact, the entire Bucks team really did well defensively, except Brook Lopez, but that's a different situation. But he did well defensively, and he was really moving the ball around and had a couple great passes. So he was doing his thing, but just scoring-wise, it was Chris Middleton was just not shooting the ball well, especially because he continued to take contested threes. I don't know why he was pulling up for contested threes. That was where my issue comes in with Chris Middleton. Sometimes he just does things like this where I'm just like, why are you shooting that? He's shooting contested threes and he's just missing. And I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. Just Chris Middleton just was not on it tonight. But you know what? They didn't need it. They didn't need it because overall the team played well. And when you look at another factor that played into why the Bucks won tonight, it just has to deal with them finally playing some smart basketball. In the first half, they were doing the same old, same old. It was like the first quarter, they were focused on driving, but they were taking threes. Second quarter, they started settling for threes. And it started to really hurt them because the Suns, they did what they did in the first two games. They kept it close in the first quarter, a big thanks to DeAndre Ayton for doing that. And then in the second quarter, they started just taking over the game. And next thing you know, they had a 6-point lead. But with under 5 left to go in the second quarter, the flip switched for the Bucks, and they finally decided to play smart basketball. They started driving. And for like the rest of the game, they just focused on driving to the basket, getting contact, going to the line, driving to the basket, getting to the hoop, finishing with a strong layup, driving to the basket and setting somebody up with a quick pass or setting someone up in the corner for a wide open three. Or they started to start posting up. Giannis was posting up a lot tonight, and he was just getting whatever he wanted. So that's exactly what you need to see from the Bucks. Focus on driving the basket. You have the size advantage. Budenholzer, how many times do we got to tell you this? Your team has a size advantage. The Suns cannot stop your guys from getting to the basket. Giannis can drive and get to the basket whenever he wants. Middleton can drive and get to the basket or finish with his mid-range. Jrue Holiday can drive to the basket and finish. They can't stop them. They have the size advantage. Not to mention you have Brook Lopez, who you can use in the paint to get a couple easy baskets. Use your size. Simple as that. And they did that in the second half, and that's why they took over. That's exactly what you needed from them. Now, will they play like this in Game 4? Who knows? The Bucks are so inconsistent, you don't know if you're going to get a performance like this as a team in Game 4. For all we know, they may go back to shooting threes. Now, of course, they did continue to shoot threes, and they were just hitting more threes. You had P.J. Tucker hit a 3 in the corner. Bobby Portis hit a 3 in the corner as well. Chris Middleton hit 1 or 2 threes. Jrue Holiday was hitting his threes tonight. You just had them hitting threes, especially in the second half. But mostly, they were focused on driving. And the threes they were taking that they were hitting, they were wide open threes, which I'm perfectly fine with. Take the wide open threes. That's what you want to. You want to see that. That's what you want to see. That is what you want to see. Simple as that. But overall, great job by the Bucks. I don't know if they're going to be consistent. We'll just see what happens. Moving on to the Suns. Suns tonight didn't have it. They didn't have it. DeAndre Ayton in the first half was dominating. Had 18. He was dominant. He had like 18 points, man. He absolutely took over, and he was keeping the Bucks, not the Bucks. He was keeping the Suns alive in this game. He was going to work in the post and was just dominating anybody in front of him. He was the main reason they were even close in this game or even had a lead at some point in this game because he was just doing his thing. CP3 in the first half was also doing his thing. He was cooking. However, second half, issues came in. CP3 himself, he got cold in the second half and down the stretch was not able to do much in terms of impacting the game. Now, he was still passing the ball well and setting up his teammates, so that was great, but he just couldn't find any space. He couldn't get anything going. He couldn't get himself going, even in the mid-range game. So that was tough for him. DeAndre Ayton, he got into foul trouble. He picked up his fourth foul early in the third quarter, and he had to sit out the rest of the third quarter. That completely cooled him off. So when he walked in the fourth quarter, he couldn't do anything. Then he got his fifth foul, and Monty said, I'm going to just sit you down for the rest of the game. So DeAndre Ayton got in foul trouble, which seriously harmed his team because he was the top performer tonight, and he couldn't do anything after getting in foul trouble. He was just sitting on the bench. So losing him not only hurt their offense, it hurt their defense because it really opened up the paint for Giannis to do whatever he was going to do. You need to have a body there on Giannis. So that's definitely a problem right there. And, of course, the biggest issue for the Suns tonight, Devin Booker. Devin Booker was 3 of 14. He had 10 points. This is easily the worst playoff game he's had this run, as well as the worst playoff game he's had his entire career because this is his first time being here. But, yeah, Devin Booker was bad tonight. He was bad. Now, part of that has to deal with the fact that he wasn't hitting his shots. And another part of that has to deal with the defense. Like I said, Jrue Holiday was on it tonight. But it wasn't just Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday was playing great defense. Giannis was playing great defense. P.J. Tucker was playing great defense. Even Middleton was contributing defensively and playing great. This team was just playing great defense, and they forced both CP3 and Devin Booker to take tough shots. You had CP3 taking tough contested mid-range jumpers that just weren't hitting it, especially in the second half. He was hitting those in the first half, though, but second half he couldn't hit them. And you had Devin Booker, who was hitting both mid-range and three-pointers that he was attempting that he just couldn't hit because they were all tough and contested. So the defense of the Milwaukee Bucks truly shined tonight, and they just utilized their size, and they bullied these guys. And in the second half, man, they just took over. They went on a 16-0 run to end the third quarter. At that point, we knew the game was a wrap. There was nothing else the Suns can do. So yeah, tough night for Phoenix, but they'll bounce back. They'll definitely bounce back. They'll be better. Devin Booker will be better. CP3 will be better. Hopefully DeAndre Ayton won't be in foul trouble. And you can't always bet on the Bucks to play the way they played tonight consistently. So we'll see what happens in Game 4. But, I'm hoping the Bucks win Game 4 because I want this series to go in 7. But we'll see what happens. With that being said, that is all I got, man. And I'm out of here. We'll see what happens in Game 4. Peace out.